right, everybody, welcome back to JB's College Hockey Gambling Show. We're on Zoom again, aren't we, boys? I tell you what, it's been a rough week, and you know what? We had to do little make do rally action. You know what? Maybe our studio is getting redone again, right, JB?
Yeah.
JB, you seem really quiet for you two, Quays, or is it just me?
What?
Okay? Wait, me. You know what? Here's talk again.
Hello.
Okay, never mind. You know what? That was on me. Rough night. The mic was a little bit turned down on my end for some reason, but yeah, back on Zoom. Quays, your fill-in last week did not have a good week. Went going 1-6-1. So you went
not my fault.
From first to worst, but it's only by 2. I'm in the lead at 22 picks right so far. JB's at 21 and you're at 20. So it's a tight race for the top right now. And you know what? This is a big week. Big week. Last week was kind of a weird Thanksgiving week and a lot of non-conference action. A couple Big Ten games. Couple what was there? There were a couple CCHA games, but otherwise just kind of sporadically placed out last weekend. JB, how do you feel like you did really good last week?
Well, I went like 5-2-1 or something like that.
Yeah, you did good. It
was a good week. I'm gonna keep it rolling.
Okay, good. Because I tell you, week 9 here, we have there's a lot of good matchups this week, and I think we're starting out probably here with maybe the matchup of the week. What do you think, Quays?
Yeah, it's definitely the matchup of the week. UND Denver.
Yes.
2 top dogs
3
in
matchup.
NCAA hockey. It'd be big for NCHC points this weekend. They're both like second, third in the NCHC, I believe.
Chasing Cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fun matchup to watch.
First game at Magnus Arena, UND comes to town to face Denver. Denver -1.5, over under set at 7. JB, how does that line make you feel this week?
I hate that. I hate it being set at 7, even though looking at their history, they've past few matchups, they've scored a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot go with 7. I'm taking the under for this week. For this matchup, I'm taking the under 7 on that. But I think this will be a great matchup. I think North Dakota will take this game, even though in the past, Denver has won the past 4 games they've faced each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think UND will at least keep this within 1 goal, so I'm taking UND +1.5 for this.
Okay, because I was gonna say here a little bit of stats, but you hopped right in. That's okay. I don't think it really changed anything. I was gonna say it's looking back, it's been a pretty streaky matchup with Denver winning the last 4 games in a row, but before that UND winning 6 straight. So kind of crazy. It's like boom, boom, boom. Not a lot of back and forth like we saw last week. With I believe it was the Dame and BC matchup. Oh, whatever. Who cares about that? But I will say, yes, 4 out of the last 8 matchups have had 7 or more goals in this series with that over under 7 line, getting important there. Now, Quays, I don't know how you feel about this. I feel like, this isn't Magnus Corona era or even, God, what's his name? Whatever. I don't see this as being a goalie matchup. I see this as a battle of the offense. I really do. So I'm taking the over 7. I'm going to hit that 7 line. And I really don't know how this series is really going to go. So I'm going to take the points here and hit UND +1.5 just for the fact I really have no clue which way this one's going to turn.
Yeah, I like those picks too. Like you guys said, it's going to be a close matchup. 2 top dogs in the NCHC. And I agree with you, Nathan, where I don't think the goalies are really going to shine this series. So I'm going to go with UND +1.5 and also over 7 goals because I could easily see – sorry, my window's open. I could easily see it being a 4-3 matchup, get a little push action. But I'm very excited to watch this series.
No, yeah, this should be a great one. Like we said, Denver at number 2, or UND at number 2 and Denver at number 3 right now, ranked in the country. This should be a great one this weekend. Okay, next we head back a little Hockey East tech here with New Hampshire coming to Maine. Maine set at -1.5, over under a much lower 5.5 this week. Now, I'll start off the bat here. Both these programs great starts, obviously. We've talked a lot about Maine, especially. Now, they did have a bye week this last week over Thanksgiving. They didn't play. But 2 weeks ago, they did get swept by BU at BU. But both those games, I'll say it, they were really close. Maine was in both of those really hard, and BU is obviously a great team themselves. While New Hampshire comes off a split versus RIT this last weekend. So, I don't know, New Hampshire, they started a little hot. The Wildcat Tech, they were bumping. But are they really still bumping, Quays? How do you feel?
Yeah, obviously, like you said, the good start for UNH, but I mean, it's really tough. The Hockey East has been really close so far this year. It's been great matchups throughout. I haven't gotten a chance to watch a lot of their games, but I mean, the split against RIT is not a good look, but I think it's going to be a very fun matchup against Maine. I do think Maine's going to fare a little better in this matchup. I'm going to go Maine money line. Also, I'll go with the over 5.5. Maine has had some very low scoring games against BC, but I think this one's going to be high.
Yeah, I came up with a hot take on the Hockey East looking at this matchup because a lot of teams, their over-unders are not very high, and it's usually the teams. What teams score a lot? It's BU, BC, and UMass. Am I right? I feel like those are the teams that you always see those higher lines, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
so
DraftKings. You know they don't know much about hockey.
But you know what it is? It's teams that wear red, major red in their logos, and their school colors. Those are the ones that score a lot of goals. And New Hampshire, Maine, it's blue and white. So no red in this matchup, but I'm still gonna take that over. It's just Maine was able to put up like 3 to 4 against BU, and New Hampshire is scoring. I just think that they look at these non-crazy Hockey East teams and they're like, okay, whatever, we'll just drop the line. Like if it's a BC, BU, even a UMass, I feel like they're more inclined just to put it up. Because like we said, I don't know how much they actually know about college hockey, but obviously if you see those, major schools with, the huge programs, blah, 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 they're better, whatever. But I think over 5.5 is a good take here. And New Hampshire has not really impressed me the last few weeks here. And I tell you what, even though Maine got swept by BU a couple weeks ago, they were fighting so hard against one of the best teams in the Hockey East. I'm going to take Maine minus 1.5. I'm going to lay the line, put the balls on the table, and get the job done. JB.
See, I like Ryan's picks. I went exactly as what he said. I think he looked at my sheet before this, but I went with Maine money line, and then the over 5.5. I know when we normally see a 5.5, it's sometimes a bait over, but I think this one will have like 6-7 goals this time. I think it should be a good series. I believe Maine will put up a good fight against New Hampshire.
Okay. That's fair, JB. And what, he looks at the sheet you made, 2 minutes ago?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, we stay in the Hockey East for our next matchup. The crazy team this year, Northeastern, heading to BC. BC minus 1.5, over under this time set at 6. See, we got BC in there now, and line bumps up to 6. Yeah, Quays, I tell you what, I don't know if we've seen a worse start for Northeastern since we've been covering college hockey, but this year has obviously not been ideal, and now they're going up against the number 1 ranked team in the country. What do we think here?
Yeah, like you said, Northeastern is very, very bad this year. They have yet to win a game in the Hockey East. They only won 1 game in November, and that was against Rensselaer. And I don't think anything's going to change. It's just, I don't know. They must have done a bad job recruiting after they're losing Devin Levi and Aiden McDonough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have thought that have brought more kids there.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a pretty sick school. Cool jerseys. I'm going to go BC money line. I could easily see BC minus 1.5. But I'm going to go with the safe pick here. BC money line. And I also go with the over. We all know BC scores a lot of goals. Like this last weekend, they buried Notre Dame on Friday night. What was it, 5-1, something like that?
Yeah, not ideal for Dame.
So I'll go with the over.
I'm right there with you on the over. I think that, BC, their offense has actually been cooking. A lot of young guys, obviously, but they've started to get stuff a little bit more organized and to put together. And against this Northeastern team, man, it's just not looking good for them. And I am going to lay the balls and take BC -1.5. I don't think that's a crazy stretch, excuse me, by any means. So, I mean, pretty similar picks there. I'm just going to lay the line. How about you, JB?
I'm also going with BC -1.5. I just think Northeastern, they're not going to get the ball rolling at with this series, and I could see them possibly getting shut out against BC. Oh. So I'm also taking the under 6 for this game.
Oh, okay. Switching up a little. Yeah. Under tech. Okay, JB. You see the under. Okay, fine. Last series, we ended out in the Big Ten, a team that has not been very great the last couple weeks here. Wisconsin hosting the worst team in the Big Ten, Ohio State. Wisconsin -1.5 over under. Now, this one shook me, set at 5.5. Okay. Now, obviously, what was it? 3 weeks ago, Wisconsin had a break. Was it going into the break? They were the number 1 team in the country. And then they played MSU. Got swept by MSU at Michigan State. And then this last weekend, we're at home against Alaska Anchorage. Shut out 1-0 the first night. Not a good look. And then the second night, they did come back and win 5-0. But still, not a good look for Wisconsin after having the start they did. They're still like 10-3 on the season. But it's just not ideal. Anyway, okay, like I said, Ohio currently sitting at the bottom of the Big Ten. And Ohio has won 6 out of the last 8, JB. So is Wisco going to take control of the series and switch that up? Because I know you said last year, streaks are meant to be broken. Is this streak meant to be broken?
I think this streak is meant to be broken. I took Wisco money line for this game. But I think this is a bait over game.
A bait over?
Bait over at 5.5. I'm taking the under 5.5 for this game. Looking at their previous matchups, 2-0, 4-0. Yeah, you get a 3-4, and then a 1-3. I think the under is calling for this game.
Okay. I tell you what, this line really shocked me. Obviously, Ohio hasn't been the greatest this year, but I mean, Wisconsin, their offense has been cooking in certain matchups. It's obviously been a little bit slower here. I mean, they did put in 5, though, this last Saturday. So, I don't know. I'm a little shocked at this line. I'm going to take the over 5.5. I mean, obviously, they played Michigan State a couple weeks ago. I think they only scored maybe 4 goals that whole weekend. But that's a great Michigan State team, number 1 in the Big Ten right now. And you're looking the other way here with Ohio. And with the Badgers at home, I'm going to take them outright money line. I think the Badgers can get a good rebound this weekend.
Okay, I'm going to go with over 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at a lot of Ohio State's matchups, it's pretty high-scoring games. But I'm going to go with Ohio State plus 1.5 here.
Oh.
With Wisco struggling the last 4 games, losing against Alaska Anchorage, one of the worst teams in college hockey. Wisco really needs to figure it out, but I think Ohio State's going to keep it close on Friday.
Okay, that'll be an interesting one to watch. Big Ten matchup. If Wisconsin doesn't take points here, it could be trouble for them down the road, obviously. Well, boys, another great week of college hockey coming up. JB, what do you have to say?
Let's make some money this weekend. Let's make some money this weekend.
Oh. Hey. Okay. Oh, okay.
Let's make some money this weekend. Hit that like button and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.